Blessings and welcome to the Path to Freedom with me, Daniel Roqueo. Thank you so much for tuning in, for choosing to participate in a moment of expanding our consciousness, in the moment of raising our vibration, in a moment of setting ourselves free to be in ever-expanding love and joy and harmony, to be in the realm of ever-expanding good, as Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith defines heaven. He says that heaven is being in the ever-expanding good, in the field of ever-expanding good. So this is what we're doing. This is the inner work that we're doing, bringing heaven, which is not a far-off place where some of us get to go while others are eternally damned or condemned to hell. That's not at all what heaven is about. But heaven is a state of consciousness. It's a state of being. So we are claiming heaven here on earth. And today, what we're talking about today fits perfectly into this. As we are talking about time, as we are talking about the topic for today is, I believe, something to the effect of all problems are in time. And this has to do, obviously, with the fact that we have time and then we have the eternal. And these are not the same. Time are the three tenses, or time is the three tenses. We have past and we have present and we have future, but these are not the eternal. These are not the nowness of this moment, as I love to call it. So today we are exploring why it is that we are so wise, so wise, to find a way to create a habit, to cultivate a habit of coming back to the nowness of this moment over and over and over until we live, until this moment, the nowness of this moment, is the place and the space from which we move as we move through life, as we go on about our business, as we walk through our days. So what is time? Well, time is made up to be a linear thing here on this planet in the human consciousness. Time is past, present, future. Some of us are predisposed, have a tendency to lean more into the past. And this is where we either regurgitate or ruminate old hurts and old wrongs, what people did to us, what we did ourselves, or we live bringing past glories onto the altar of our lives. We live from these past glories. So we've passed that which has happened in this dimension, and then we have future. And some of us have a habit of leaning into future trip. So we either project the good that we want to happen into some future moment, or we project the bad that we don't want to happen into some future moment. Either way, we are abandoning the nowness of this moment for something that has not happened and may not ever come to pass. But we invest our energy, we invest our attention, we invest a whole lot of ourselves into either trying to call forth that which we want to experience, or avoid that which we don't want to experience, all at the expense of this now moment. And then we have the present, which is not the nowness of this moment either. But the present, this is where we perhaps are embarrassed, or we get angry about what someone has done in this moment, but we hold on to it. So there's a slight regurgitation, or we perhaps become involved in what others may be thinking about us, or we turn our attention to what others are doing that is not to our liking, or that is to our liking. So these are the three tenses of time, and then we have the nowness of this moment, which is beyond time. It is in the nowness of this moment that peace is eternally found. It is in the nowness of this moment that harmony, wholeness are eternally found forever. These are everlasting, not subject to worldly conditions, not subject to even our thoughts and opinions about that which happens, but these are one with the nowness of this moment. And I was having a conversation, and I'm having lots of conversations with individuals that most of them are experiencing and giving voice to fear and worry and doubt as to what the future will bring. And so a lot of the conversations that I have revolves around me inviting these individuals to find a way to come back to this now moment. What is here? In this now moment, all our needs are met. In this now moment, peace is here. In this now moment, joy is here. But when we keep leaning into the future, or when we keep bringing the past into the present moment, these are oftentimes involved with stories, beliefs, projections, drama that do not serve us. And oftentimes I love nature, and I love how nature is such a beautiful teacher. And, take a squirrel, for instance. A squirrel, at least during the fall, begins to gather nuts. It begins to collect nuts, so to have for the winter. So to have a storage, so to have food enough to make it through the winter. Now, the squirrel is not gathering the nuts thinking or fearing that it will have enough nuts for the winter, but it is gathering these nuts, and it puts it in different places. It buries it, and it hides it, and all of that. It forgets most of them, but while doing it, while collecting, while gathering, it is having so much fun. It is rejoicing. It's like in a constant space of playing. And why? Because it does not project into the future. It does not project fear and worry and doubt. It does not lean into doom and gloom, thinking that something bad is going to happen in the winter, and so I need to find a way to navigate through that, or avoid that which might or might not happen. And the same it is with us. When we come back to the nowness of this moment, when we turn our attention to what is here, the beauty that is here, the abundance that is here, the peace that is here everywhere, we need only look outside our windows, to become aware of the peace that is all around in nature. The harmony that is all around in nature. Like that lily on the field, which is a passage that is very big for me right now. What does the lily do? It doesn't toil, it doesn't spin, and I'm adding to that, it doesn't struggle, it doesn't effort, it doesn't try to make anything happen. Why? Because it is not living in some future moment. It is not trying to find its way through this obstacle course. It is not trying to avoid getting hurt or being harmed or running out or whatever the case may be. But it is so steeped in the nowness of this moment. And through knowing and feeling, and that's what the nowness of this moment brings. A sense of knowing and feeling that all is well right now, right here. If I take a breath, I have more air. There is more air than I need in this now moment. In this now moment, there's more blood than my body needs. In this now moment, I can see, I can hear. In this now moment, all of my needs are met. I may have stories, and now we're moving into the present. I may have stories around not being able to pay my bills, or stories around the diagnosis that I've been given, or the prognosis, or a health condition, or whatever the case may be. But in the nowness of this, right here, right now, all of my needs are met. All is well right now. And this is the space that nature is living in. And there is no anxiety in nature. There is no stress in nature. There is no depression in nature. There is no being burnt out in nature. All of these are products of the human mind, which is so caught up in time. So caught up in time. And I'm not denying that we're living in a society where we need to plan things. I mean, if a group of people are to come together for a Zoom meeting or whatever the case may be, they need to set a time for that meeting, for everyone to show up at the same time. So we live in a society, we have created a system based on time, but in our minds, we are so wise to come back to the nowness of this moment. Just come back to the breath and begin again. Oh, I'm starting to become aware of my mind beginning to race into future, begin to entertain doom and gloom, begin to hold on to or buy into or attach itself to stories that give rise to fear and worry and doubt. So what do? We come back to the nowness of this moment. Problems does not exist in spirit. Problems does not exist in nature. Problems exist in the human dimension, in the human experience, because of time, because we're trying to figure out what to do. We're trying to make it happen. Ultimately, problems arise out of a sense of not trusting the divine intelligence that is all there is. But as we project that non-trusting into time, into, and most often, future, as is the case now with a lot of people having conversations around how expensive things are and how they are not able to have their money cover all the lifestyle that they used to have, perhaps, or I don't know. But there's a lot of talk about money. And it is not in this moment that these individuals don't have enough money, but they are projecting the not having enough into some future moment. And having a health issue, it is not right now, in this moment, that the real issue is. But it is the prognosis. If we don't find a cure, if I don't find a way to heal this, or if the doctors don't find a way to heal this, and that too is in some future moment. So we're so wise to come back to this now moment. Come back to the breath. Begin again. And this is very big for me right now, as I'm facing a condition, and I can feel I'm not facing it right now. The condition haven't even started yet. This particular event is in about 2 weeks from now, but my mind is constant, and I am not looking forward to it. This is a task, this is a commitment that I've made that it does not resonate with my soul or my heart. I've made it for I have good reason for accepting this commitment, but it doesn't bring me joy. It leads me to where I want to go. So it is something that I need to do. It's one of those things that I just need to do it. Just do it. But even though it's 2 weeks away, my mind is like a yo-yo, or it's constantly venturing into that. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the tediousness. I'm feeling the lack of joy. I'm not even in it yet, but my mind is replaying it. I'm experiencing it even though it's 2 weeks away. So there's like a battle. It's a tug of war where my mind races off into this event. I bring it back. What is here? The sun is here. What is here? The birds are singing. What is here? The flowers are in bloom. What is here? The grass underneath my feet. What is here? This breath. What is here? What is here? What is here? And my mind takes off, I bring it back. The mind takes off, I bring it back. And finding, building, cultivating a way of coming back to the nowness in this moment. I invite you to try it. I invite you to try it. Because it'll bring peace beyond comprehension. It'll bring the peace that passes human understanding. If we stop turning our attention to something that may be, or something that was way, way back in time, that we have no way of changing at all. The only thing we can do is release, find a way to release and let go of our stories about what happened. The only thing we can do about the future is release and let go about our stories about what might happen. And come back to now. Come back to now. So problems are in time. The solution is beyond time, in the nowness of this moment. So that's the invitation, and obviously the questions that we're wise to ask ourselves. Where am I turning my attention? Am I turning my attention to something that has been a long, long time ago, that has passed perhaps 10, 15, 20 years ago? Am I still holding on to that? Am I still reliving it? Or am I moving into the future, building up a lot of fear, worry, and doubt around what may or may not even come to pass? So where are we turning our attention? We want to be grounded, centered, anchored in the nowness of this moment as much as possible. As much as possible. Just as nature. In complete peace. Regardless of conditions. Regardless of circumstances. And being in that space of peace, being in that space of all is well, nature is so beautifully provided for. Beautifully provided. So thank you so much for tuning in, for listening. Until we meet again, I bless your day, and I bless your way, knowing, feeling that all is well, something wonderful is happening, that everything is working for your highest good, now, always, forever. Much love, many blessings. Namaste.